That was the smoke inside starting.
Who's out here? Is everybody out?
This is your monthly reminder to never get an electric vehicle. I've towed my car to Mercedes about 15 times since then because of electrical problems.
Dealership in Hamilton said he needed the battery replaced. The quote stunned him. Between the battery installation and taxes, it totaled just over $50,000.
Electric cars this year are a complete and utter disaster. Not only are they extremely unreliable, they are horrible to work on. The resale value is atrocious. The batteries are beyond expensive to repair or replace. Good luck trying to travel in them. They are filled with software glitches and bugs. And if you drive anything else besides a Tesla, good luck trying to find a place to charge it. Now, if you guys happen to own or have driven an electric car, let me know your thoughts about them down in the comments section below. Would you get one over a gas car? And what's your thoughts on hybrid engines? I'll be sharing my opinion on that in a little bit, but otherwise, let's get right into today's episode.
This is exactly why electric charging sucks still, and electric cars are still bad. We're in line behind three other people for this Electrify America network right here, and there's a bus there. 2 cars are here.
Wow.
And we basically can't go anywhere. We're going to be waiting here another hour or so just to get in, and then it's going to take another 30 minutes to charge if we are lucky. If we are lucky, it'll take us 30 minutes to charge. But this is exactly why I'm so happy when we want a hybrid vehicle, because we don't have to deal with this. We're on a road trip, and we're stuck behind all of these vehicles, and then there's this bus that's also electric that's just chilling there, and I don't know how long we're going to be here for, but we're in the middle of nowhere, and this is what we got to deal with right now on the road trip.
I mean, I love hybrid cars, and kudos to him. We'll be talking about hybrid vehicles later on in the episode here, but I have mixed emotions and mixed feelings about all electric vehicles. I think Tesla is it. Like, Tesla has the market, and all the other cars is like, they're like Android and Samsung compared to Apple. Apple has the infrastructure. Tesla has the infrastructure. They have created a massive globe of Tesla chargers where it is so much easier and more accurate to charge your vehicle on vacations and road trips here. But I don't think people realize that outside of their little metropolitan bubble or suburban bubble, the rest of the world doesn't really have electric chargers or even know what electric cars are. I know that's crazy, but if you tried to, let's say, drive across the country from New York to LA, or even drove a little bit inland up the coast, let's say from Florida to New York, and instead of hugging the coast, you kind of went inland a little bit, a lot of the places you're going to be driving through don't have electric chargers, especially for non-Tesla vehicles here. And I honestly cannot wrap my head around why some people buy all electric cars and don't have chargers or fast chargers at their house. Like, if you live in an apartment complex, I don't think you have any business buying a Tesla or an all-electric car, because you're kind of screwed when it comes to charging it. You're going to have to go find places, and half the times they're busy, taken up, at least in my area, or are broken, to be honest with you. Anyway, I wanted to read a couple of comments that you guys had left on previous car episodes that I've made on the channel. That's right, this is not the first episode of cars that we had covered on the channel. If you haven't seen my other episodes on why new cars are horrible this year and why used cars aren't the problem you are, then I highly recommend you check those videos out, as this is kind of a sequel to that. But I wanted to read a couple of the comments that you guys had left on those episodes in regards to electric cars. And if you guys want to get featured in the next episode, definitely make sure to drop your comment or story or opinion on electric cars down below. All the new cars they build today are garbage when you see it. Plastic exhaust. That's pretty funny too. A lot of new cars don't even have full exhaust pipes, and they have fake plastic tips. It's cutting corners. That's all they're doing here. You know, it's game over for the car industry. This is all by design. They want us all driving electric cars so they know where we're at and they can turn the power off anytime. Limited travel people, that's what they want. I mean, that is quite the world we're looking at here. The dystopia of total, like Big Brother, total world control. But I can totally see it. The way the world is going at this point, I mean, everybody knows where you are. The government knows where you are at all times. If you carry, a cell phone around, it's tracking your GPS all the time. My Apple Watch is constantly checking my pulse and blood pressure, and because it's a free service, I'm sure they're sending that off to Apple or wherever they're data collecting it and then selling my data for money. The car is the exact same way. It is tracking your driving patterns, your driving style, your speed, and then these companies collect that data and sell it to whoever's interested, to the insurance companies, the manufacturers, to third parties. It's crazy the amount of things I've seen. I've even seen an article that said Kia was tracking your naughty business that you did inside your cars. They got busted from listening in on that or recording you or something diabolical like that. But yeah, I'm not surprised.
So having an electric car that I can't charge at my apartment complex goes like this.
I don't get it.
Run with me while I charge my car.
Huh.
Let's see, I'm at $21. About 30 minutes now where
And again, I still can't wrap my head around why anyone would buy an all-electric car if they can't charge it at home. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe, and this is a stretch, if your place of work, you can charge it there, then okay. But otherwise, totally don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand with gas cars, again, I can't fill it up or charge it at home, but driving to the gas station takes 30 seconds, filling it up, bada bing, bada boom, I'm in and out in less than 5 minutes. But with a all-electric car, now I have to wait several hours doing whatever and then charging my car. It's just like an unnecessary added thing that I have to do during my day. And it's not about the money. Time is more valuable than money. So to be, spending all this extra time waiting around, running errands while I'm charging my car, mainly for the purpose of charging my car, seems a little bit ridiculous than coming home at night, plugging in the charger, going to sleep, and it's charged in the morning. Don't buy EVs. You are sitting on the battery. With all the bad road maintenance and gunk laying on the streets, once the battery is compromised, it goes wild in a battery fire. Ditto, if you have an EV and drive through snow or where the salted roads are, remember the hurricane that passed over Florida and all the people that had EVs? Well, they all caught fire. Some were partially submerged in seawater, and it went completely ba-boom. Doesn't matter if the EV is a Volvo, Mercedes. Honestly, if you are in the US, don't get a Mercedes. Tesla, BYD, which are as bad, if not worse than Tesla. Any other brand, I am waiting on the Toyota hydrogen cell, but even then, I will not buy it on day one. I will wait a couple of years. I think Toyota has already created that hydrogen car that runs on that gas. I think it's in California, and that is way too expensive here. But he's got a lot of valid points, and those cars did catch fire because of the salt water. Salt water and batteries do not mix. They explode. Not to mention, when we had Hurricane Ian, we lost power for several days, and some people lost power for several weeks, if not months. The amount of Teslas that I saw abandoned on the side of the roads was insane. And the few Teslas that had battery were at the gas station buying gas for their generators to charge their Tesla.
People don't want used electric cars because they know the batteries degrade.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
replacing
point.
the batteries is a nightmare right now. It's like they're tweeners. Like the tech is amazing. Driving them is incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
The driving them makes other cars feel so stupid. But the problem is reselling them. You lose a lot of value in it. Buddy of mine's kid got an Audi, like this sick Audi. I think it's called the e-tron. He got it for like $60,000. It was like a $120,000 car a couple of years ago.
But how long are the batteries supposed to last?
That's a good question. They slowly degrade over time, and I don't think there's anything you can do to stop that. I think that's just
Kind of like your iPhone.
Yeah. Well, your iPhone's even worse because it's kind of engineered to do that. Yeah. Once they move up the operating system and bring in the new phones.
I'm
Guess what? We're only a couple years away for them doing the same exact stuff within electric cars. At some point, what they're doing with iPhones is exactly what's going to happen. And every year, you're going to want the newest update, which might add new features to your car, and it's going to slowly degrade that battery until you can barely get to the supermarket and back without having to charge it. And FYI, there are cars that do that. I believe it was the Nissan Leaf. The batteries are so bad on those things, the older ones. And then I think the BMW i3, if I recall. I know battery advancement and technology is getting better over time, and we're slowly figuring out better ways to preserve battery life or create better batteries. But for the time being, and especially the older electric cars or just the older technology that had these batteries without the software in it, what you would typically see, even on cell phones, is, now you can only get 90% of battery life. You can only get 80% of battery life. You can only get 70%. That means on a max charge, you're only getting 70% of what used to be 100%. And you could barely go a day without having to charge it. You'd go just several hours with your phone, and then you'd have to recharge it. And it's the same thing with cars. So check out this article that I found on Vancouver Sun. ICBC scraps 2022 electric car after owner faced with $60,000 repair bill to replace a damaged battery. Damage to the EV batteries voided the vehicle's warranty, and the quoted $60,000 replacement was more than a new car was worth. So ICBC, which is like Insurance Corporation of British Columbia, wrote off and scrapped the nearly new automobile. So think about it. And we've covered this in previous episodes because people swear by their warranties. They love their warranties here, but they will do everything and anything in their power to void it. And here's a prime example. And if you think about it, it also kind of makes sense. When your battery is mounted on the underside of your car and you run something over, that is not a manufacturer defect. That the warranties doesn't cover your mess ups. You know, if you go run over a pothole and blow your rim, that's not going to be covered under warranty. Same thing with this car. But it happens. This is a known problem here. A Vancouver electric car owner was shocked to learn earlier this fall that seemingly minor damage to his car battery required replacement of the unit, and was quoted $60,000 repair bill, more than the list price of the new car. So to replace the car battery costs more than the car itself, and it's only like a 2 or 3 year old car, or it might have even been a 1 year old car at that time. 1 year old, a brand new car. The owner was told the damage voided his warranty on the 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5, forcing him to file a claim with ICBC, which simply wrote the car off due to the extraordinary cost. Can you imagine? And now his insurance is screwed. In this case, the Ioniq 5's battery cover plate on the bottom of the car was scratched and showed a small deformation, which indicated the battery had suffered an impact.
So here's the 411, okay? I went out and bought this thing for $150. There's a little connector here, so I can utilize the Tesla charging station connector, which is a totally goofy looking one right there, and it fits in that. But I called up Tesla, and what they told me was, I can't charge here. I don't have a Tesla. Anybody else experience this shit? It's a bunch of shit, right? Frustrated.
That's actually hysterical. And from my understanding, that like adapter dongle that he bought is only useful if somebody, let's say, had a charger at their house, or you just had that like charging cable in the back of your car. Then you could plug it in, use that adapter, and then it would charge your car. Not the superchargers, not the Tesla superchargers. And I had read somewhere several months or years ago that at some point Tesla was considering letting, free range for their Tesla superchargers and anyone could use them. But if you think about it, that is a huge selling point for Tesla. And if I had owned a Tesla previously and then they did that and allowed free range for the Tesla chargers, if I now had to wait hours to use the superchargers because Hyundai Ioniqs and Dodge Challenger EVs are now there taking up what I thought was mine, I'd be pissed. And Tesla would lose a lot of money. That'd be my last Tesla I'd ever buy if I now, the one big perk, the highlight, maybe free supercharging or just having the ability to access these superchargers is now being clogged up by, electric cars. You know what I'm saying? Like non-Tesla cars. I'd be pissed. And if you think about it, Tesla would probably lose a lot of loyal fans and clients for buying their cars, although they would make more money from allowing other people to use those Tesla chargers. It's a give and take.
So I'm standing underneath a Tesla Model S. The battery, 1,200 pounds, would normally sit here.
He said 1,200 pounds for a battery. Oh my gosh.
Two thick blades, which take hundreds of amps of DC up through the high voltage junction box under the rear seat. From there, comes out of the high voltage junction box to these two thick cables, DC, 400 volts, goes down into an inverter, which converts all of that DC to three-phase AC.
Wow.
Feeds directly into the motor, three-phase AC induction motor, which then couples to this transaxle, these two half shafts, which then end up turning your tires and making the car go.
Wow. I mean, here's the thing, guys. You buy an all-electric car, you're not working on it yourself. You can't call no mobile mechanic or go to the local shop down the street to have it worked on. You're going to have to go to specific dealers or specific people, electrical engineers at this point, that know and are certified on working on electrical stuff. This is beyond mechanics and automotive. This is electrical technicians and electrical, mechanics and electrical engineers. It's a very small market. So at this point, this early on, they kind of have a monopoly on the market. And that's why they can charge thousands of dollars in repair costs for these cars. 'Cause I don't know how to work on that. I can work on all the other types of cars, but doing all electric, that's a bit above my pay grade. Sorry, if you buy a new ICE car today, ICE is internal combustion engine for those that don't know, or in the last 5+ years, you are just a complete moron. Wow, okay. We have not bought gas in over 6 years and have not once done routine maintenance, had a breakdown, or have done brake pads with over 170K miles on 2 cars. FYI, that's your experience with your 2 cars. There are tens of thousands of them with many different experiences. Just because you had a good experience with your 2 cars at this moment doesn't mean that goes for all of them. I still don't like fully electric cars, and maybe he's got Tesla and those are okay, but the rest of them, kind of a lot of problems. Our brake pads will last over 300,000 miles. Kudos. Congrats. Saved as much as $3,000 in gas per year and what are literally the most American-made, safest, and lowest cost of ownership cars of any cars on the market. I fathom he's talking about Teslas. But just because you saved on some maintenance here and there, you're still having to buy a very expensive cars. All electric cars are not cheap at this moment. Even Teslas, 30, 40, 50 grand. Even if you're saving $3,000 in gas, and guess what? I don't drive anywhere near burning $3,000 in gas. The offset in savings is huge versus me going and buying a $15,000 used car and putting, regular gas in it is not going to be that much. The savings, it would take a long time to break even on that, in my opinion here. Not to mention, they drive us around 95% of the time while we watch, which meanwhile are actually safer than stupid humans driving. Yeah, they don't want people driving. I'm glad he admits that, because the way all cars are going, even in internal combustion engine cars, the amount of sensors, gadgets, and gizmos and doodads to take away as much of the person from driving is insane, because people are not getting smarter. They're getting stupider, no offense, and we're not driving that good. So we're just creating cars that can practically take care of themselves with these computers because of how bad people drive. Guess which cars we own? LOL. Sorry, you fudsters, but ICE catches fire 26 times more than EV and breaks down 2 times more often. Well, there's a heck of a lot more internal combustion engine cars than there are electric cars currently. So again, that study is skewed. An EV will last many times longer, including the battery, and we have gone a cross-country trip towing a trailer with no charging issues. Keep spending more money on oil, parts, and repairs, just like big oil and OEM part sales departments want you to. You are a fool. There is charging at every house in the USA. It is called an electrical outlet. Let me know your thoughts on that one down in the comment section below.
TikTok, I'm back at it again. This time, we're charging from 20%.
20%.
I've been there for 62 minutes. And I'm at $20 almost. With 73%, it says it's gonna stop at 80. I don't have time for this though. I don't have an hour every day to charge my car. If you have an electric car, I don't know how you do it.
It's like time is money. He's got to sit there for over an hour. It's probably going to cost him $25, $26. Guess what? To fill up the 2010 Mazda 3, the 4-cylinder with regular gas, only costs like $29. So we're talking about like a $4 to $6 savings charging like that. And guess what? I save an hour of my time every week, or however long it takes you to charge.
Teslas were stuck dead all over Chicago this week after extreme cold hit in a big way. The Windy City saw temperatures around 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 20 with the wind.
Wow.
And Tesla owners reportedly were unable to charge their vehicles at Tesla supercharger stations, but it wasn't because of long lines. According to a Fox 32 report, once the cars were plugged into the chargers, charging would never initiate, causing several owners to actually opt into having their vehicles towed to Tesla service centers.
That's another big problem with all electric cars. The batteries have to be at a certain temperature prior to charging, and if they're not at that temperature, they can't get a charge. It's the same thing with, my Milwaukee tools and whatever my all-electric power tools are here. If they're too cold or too dead, they won't take a charge. Just look at regular gas cars. In the winter, if you have an older-ish battery, it doesn't have enough juice to crank over sometimes. And the winter typically is when a lot of cars go flat or people figure out that they have a dead battery or a bad battery. So here you are with your entire car completely dependent on a battery.
That was the smoke inside started.
Wow.
Who's out here?
Wow.
Is everybody out?
What happened to a Tesla in Florida during last week's hurricane?
See?
It burst into flames. The fire spread to the home and burned it down.
What? There was something, I read some article many months ago that talked about why you should never leave like portable battery chargers or any like battery plugged in unattended or charged overnight because it can overcharge the battery and make it explode. Cell phones, they've gotten better with, but like cheapy tools, or if you have batteries for an electric lawnmower or portable battery chargers for your phone, you don't want to leave them charging overnight. Because what happens is they don't have the software or technology to slow the charging down or cut the charging off. So it can overcharge that battery and cause it to explode.
This is your monthly reminder to never get an electric vehicle or go in Mercedes. So not only is it a crazy hassle to have this electric vehicle, if you don't do your research, of course, and if you don't get a charger installed in your house.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
And if it's not your second vehicle. These are all things I wish somebody told me before I got...
That's a valid point too. I think you gotta, at this point, you gotta have a regular gas car and then also an all-electric car. If you're gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? You can have the all-electric car for driving around locally, the gas car for road trips and bigger trips. Then I'm okay with it. And don't get me wrong, I still really like electric cars, but the technology, the infrastructure just ain't there yet. We rushed into this thing.
Before I got an electric vehicle, but I'm going to tell you guys. Number one, make sure the tank is over 300 miles. Mine is 220 miles. So in 2 days, I'm already charging.
Wow.
And the money you're saving...
It's pennies.
With going electric, you're now spending time. And if you know anything about anything, time is more valuable than money.
Boom.
Okay? Also, you can't just charge your car wherever. Like, I thought I was charging that Tesla. You can't just do that. You got to have a specific app, and once you get there, you got to make sure, first of all, when you check in the app, it might show that it's free, but once you get there, there's going to be a line of 12 people waiting. Now you're number 13, and you got another 3 more hours before you charge.
Oh, my God.
So make sure the app is right, but that don't even matter, because once you get there, something else is going to happen. Listen, then you got to learn how to charge your car. Set up your payment, make sure the payment is good, and everything is all great. That's going to take you another hour. Long story short, I ran out of charge within the first week of me having my car. I've towed my car to Mercedes about 15 times since then.
That's
because of
user
electrical
error,
problems.
FYI.
So there's tons of electrical problems.
Oh.
Now I'm in a loaner, the second loaner, because the first one I just had yesterday caught a flat. So now they put me in this second nice-ass EQS, $100,000 car, and I paid $300 for the last tire. Now, yeah, I get it. It's Mercedes. I should have known what I was doing. Listen, don't get an electric car. Stick to gas. And I don't want to hear nothing about this hybrid stuff, because it ain't really hybrid. If you know, you know. Don't get an electric car.
I will counter and argue hybrid cars any day of the week. Not plug-in hybrids, just regular hybrids that use regenerative braking. Love those. That's going to be my next car. But he's got a lot of valid points. And you should go look up the depreciation value of the Mercedes EQS. Over 100K that car was worth. You could get them, I think, for like 60K now. It's insane. Or 50K. It's atrocious. Atrocious. Too many people today buy a car for the amount of toys inside of it. All electrical, of course. The biggest problem with vehicle electrics has always, since they were first in vehicles, had faults from early on. This has not changed. How many cars have drivers owned that had 2 of or more with the toys not working or working intermittently? Electric cars are run on electrics today, and the gadgets are getting worse and worse for reliability. Electric goods of all types quickly have faults occur, giving owners large expensive bills to either fix them or replace the part. Over my 50 years plus of driving, I've had a lot of cars, and each each and every one of them had good engines and mechanics, but useless electrical parts. If you want a car that will not hit you in the pocket all too often, then don't look for one with most toys. The car is to get you from A to B, not as the entertainment center distracting you from the road. Yeah, these cars should not be an extension of your living room. You guys got to understand that here. He brings up a lot of valid points. Same thing with the last guy that we just watched that said the amount of electrical bugs and errors happen all the time. I have software. My editing software glitches on me all the time. My phone glitches on me and sometimes will randomly reset every now and then. There are plenty of times where I'm using some sort of gadget or gizmo and it fails. The software glitches, the electrics break, and it happens quite often on cars too, and that's in gas cars. Now you're going to make your entire car fully dependent on electrical batteries, on sensors, on software. You're going to be in for a rude awakening when everything starts glitching out and your pedal stops working, your door handles won't open. I mean, there are tons of electrical software glitches and bugs.
No issues with the car until this happened.
I had an EV light come on. I had taken it to the shop. They couldn't find anything wrong.
But there was indeed a problem.
2 weeks after that, the vehicle stopped charging.
The dealership in Hamilton said he needed the battery replaced. The quote stunned him.
I was provided a quote at $50,000.
Between the battery installation and taxes, it totaled just over $50,000.
I was just floored.
Especially because his 160,000 kilometer electric vehicle warranty had just run out.
Wow.
The dealer at Hyundai told Such there was nothing they could do.
I still had to pay $500 for them to tell me the car's no good.
The diagnostic fee was $500 just for them to say, hey, you're screwed, dude.
Stories like this one are the kind to scare off buyers concerned about the high cost of electric vehicle repairs.
And you know what's crazy? Only 170,000 miles. I know that's a lot for most cars, but there are plenty of people that can do 170,000 miles in like 2 to 3 years if their job requires them to be driving around, or they're an Uber or a taxi or DoorDash. I've seen it. Not to mention, there are cars, gas cars, that can easily go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800,000 miles. Not your electric car. Toyota often gets bashed for being old school and behind the times by not embracing EVs and reusing old tech. But to me, that is what's most appealing about them. Totally agree. I love that is what Toyota's mission is. They don't like embracing new stuff because of all the problems that arise. They'd rather the market fix itself, and when it is, solid, then they will introduce that. They like, taking their time fixing what was broken with their previous cars, making them better each year instead of just dumping new cars, except for the Toyota Tundra. They got to figure out that V8. And the new, turbo ones are a bit iffy right now. They're testing that out. But for the most part, they have figured out and made hybrid cars bulletproof. They've been doing this for well over a decade, 15 plus years now, doing hybrid batteries, and they are phenomenal. Toyota Prius, this newer one that they released, bulletproof. Toyota RAV4 hybrid, bulletproof. Not the plug-in ones. I don't know too much about those, but the regenerative braking ones, you can get 40 miles per gallon, and they are solid cars.
Now we have a problem. Now I have to head to Jacksonville, North Carolina. When I hit start, it says fast charges are limited en route, not enough battery to get there. When I hit go anyways, there's literally no fast charges, and I think the car knows it's not going to make it, but I have no other real choice. I don't have enough range to get there. That is 124 miles away. I have 90 miles. This is just not going to work. And this is kind of things that people aren't really discussing.
I mean, maybe one day I'll get a, an all-electric car, but it's got to be several years once it has been completely adopted like gas cars are. I wanted to read this article too, talking about all-electric cars with, software bugs and all these problems that arise. Ford recalls nearly 200,000 Mustang Mach-E SUVs because of lock malfunction. Electronic door latch failure in 2021 through 2025 models could potentially trap rear seat passengers in the vehicle. The door locks may not open from the exterior when battery is low, potentially leaving backseat occupants who can't use the inside door release, particularly children, unable to get out of the car. And that reminds me, another big problem with fully electric cars is when your battery drains, you lose the same efficiency as you would a gas car. For example, a gas car on a quarter of a tank is going to get the same exact power output as it was on a full tank. But your all-electric car, if it, in the sports category, if your all-electric car is at, a quarter of a charge and there's only a 20% battery life left, you're going to get a extreme drop in performance and power compared to what it would be at 100%. And FYI, when you start running your heated seats, cooled seats, AC, radio, and all these other things, it's going to drain your battery and your mileage much faster.
And while EVs are growing in popularity, owners of electric vehicles experience 79% more problems with their EVs compared to gas-powered cars. EV trouble spots include issues with charging, electric motors, and battery problems.
Our members are reporting the same issues with most EVs as they are with vehicles that have been designed brand new from the ground up, whether they're gas or electric. And EVs are about the newest technology out there, and it's taking a while even for established car makers to work through those growing pains.
But automakers seem to have worked out the growing pains for hybrid vehicles. Owners of hybrids say they've had 26% fewer problems on average than a gas-only car, with EV trucks coming in last this year. The survey found auto brands at the bottom of the reliability survey this year were Rivian, Mercedes-Benz, and Chrysler.
My next car I want is the Mazda CX-50 hybrid, which has the Toyota powertrain and the luxury of Mazda. I think it's an amazing car. And when I heard they were collabing in their like Kentucky factory built in the US and they were dropping that, I have to get it. The engineering, I love it. The miles per gallon, can't wait to get that car. I wanted to read another article from you. Bricked Lucid EV exposes one weak point of high-tech cars. Electric vehicles have evolved into high-tech luxury machines, often resembled smartphones on wheels. That's what I think they are. With features like app-based keys, remote diagnostics, over-the-air updates, EVs such as the Lucid Air promise cutting-edge convenience wrapped in performance. When these digital systems fail, which they do, owners are often left helpless, locked out of their own six-figure machines. That's exactly what happened to one Lucid Air Grand Touring owner, revealing how a simple weak link, his 12-volt battery, can bring the entire tech-laden and expensive EV to its knees. It's a similar issue to the one Ford faced with the Mustang Mach-E, resulting in a lawsuit from disgruntled owners. So basically, he got locked out of his $110,000 car. And guess what? And with no mechanical key slot or emergency override, there's literally no way to get into the car because his 12-volt battery was not functioning correctly. Typically with a lot of these cars, you have 12-volt batteries powering all the accessories, and then you have the actual battery powering the drivetrain.
Unless you're buying a Tesla, I cannot recommend an electric vehicle. I am charging the Kia EV6 at Electrify America, and this is honestly the worst.
Oh boy, Kia and all-electric cars. What a great combination. What could go wrong?
Experience I've ever had with anything in my entire life. So first, I plug it in. The machine doesn't even work at all. The screen is blank. It's not charging. It won't take my payment. I press buttons. It won't reset. I'm kind of stuck. Luckily, the vehicle next to us moved because they were in the only other 350 charging spot. And now I have to lug this giant cable, which is much bigger than a Tesla supercharger cable. If you're old and weak and frail, good luck. First time plugging in, payment declined, which is weird because I got money.
You can't pay cash.
And I just want to point this out. So this is a 350 charger right there for the fastest speed. Here's another 350 over here, which is the one that's down. On the other side, the app says this charger has reduced power output, so it's not even going to charge very fast. And if we walk over here and go past the nice people that did move, they're in a Chevy Bolt. They don't even charge fast. They don't need the 350. But this Chatamo is completely down, so if you have like a Nissan Leaf, you can't even charge.
50 minutes.
It did charge fast, but I just prefer to charge at home.
Yeah.
And also, do not buy an electric vehicle. Buy a Tesla. Do not do this to yourself. With a Tesla, you just plug it in and it's done. The payment is handled built-in into the car. You don't have to worry. It automatically starts working. There's no screens. All of these chargers charge at 250. Every single one is going to be fast.
Tesla is definitely the flagship brand there, and that's the only, if you're going to get all electric, that's the only way. And don't get me wrong, I think some electric cars like Tesla, they're phenomenal. If you've ever driven one, they are so much fun. but I don't think it would be my main source of transportation. And I would only buy one if I had a charger at my house.
This is the shitty thing they don't tell you about electric cars. When you want to go ahead and charge it, you have to wait at these public charging stations. They all don't actually charge at 350 kilowatts like this car is rated. This is the Ioniq 6. And you have to wait. And these cars are going to take a long time. We're just sitting here. We're behind an ID4 who needs to wait. And now we're just waiting in here. I don't know how long this is going to take to charge up the vehicle. But once I get plugged in, then I have to wait. And I'm not going to be able to charge this vehicle at 350 kilowatt hours. I can only charge it at 50 kilowatt hours because that's all these charging stations support. This is annoying. And this is why I don't think electric cars are ready for prime time yet. The infrastructure is just not there. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for, but it's going to be a while.
Guys, we're on a road trip. And we're at the Tesla supercharger, and I don't know if my car takes Tesla.
No, it doesn't. I don't think so.
What?
It doesn't look good.
Oh my God. Wait, wait for this one. Please, please.
That's not how that works.
Please. Moment of truth.
It's not gonna work.
Bro, are you lying?
Look, it doesn't even.
Oh my gosh,
it doesn't
bro.
even.
Oh my
it's not
gosh.
even close. We're so close.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna end it all.
Get back in,
bro.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, bro. Gonna end it all. What the actual fuck?
Oh yeah, so many people
Okay,
in
guys,
that
we're
car.
at another charger. Oh my gosh, bro.
I just really hope.
Oh, please,
I
please.
just really hope it's a fast one. This one's gonna work though.
Yeah, it's one of these, I think.
Here.
Guys, that one worked, but it was only 6. What's it called? Kilowatt? Kilo? It was
6?
like the lowest charging thing possible.
6?
So we had to come to like this random, literal middle of nowhere place and charge it. But this one works, and it's like instead of 6, it's 60.
Okay,
So
a little better.
We should be done in like
An hour.
A
Yeah.
little less than an hour.
Oh boy, guys, that is going to be it for today's episode on all electric cars. If you guys had a good time, definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. Definitely make sure to drop a comment, turn on post notifications if you haven't already. And if you didn't catch my previous episode on new cars are a total disaster this year, definitely make sure to check it out right after this. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.